Greetings, YouTube. There is no trans debate. You don't get to debate the validity of someone's existence. Trans people exist, trans people have always existed, and that isn't open to debate. They're here, and they're going to always be here. And we can either make sure that they have the same protections that the rest of us have, the same human rights and civil liberties, or we can just utterly abandon a moral or ethical compass and decide that they don't deserve them for reasons, usually coming down to social conservatism. And I've seen those particular types of reasons both in the theist and the atheist communities. So don't give me any bullshit that it's because of organized religion. It's not because of organized religion. And don't tell me that, the atheists have got everything solved because it's just as rampant amongst the atheists. No, this is about social conservatism, which is at the root of pretty much all human problems when it comes to our ability to interact with each other. One group deciding that they've got the only answer in the universe and deciding that no one else should have any other ways of looking at the universe. And by gosh and by golly, if we can't beat you to death, we'll use the law to make sure you can't express your life the way you want to. But the framing of this concept, the trans debate, is very familiar to anyone who, say, lived through the 20th century or is a student of history. Because there was the Jewish conversation, the Jewish problem, the Jewish debate during the 20s and 30s, which led to a very dark direction for Nazi Germany. And before everyone begins to pigpile on Nazi Germany, not that they don't deserve being pigpiled upon, mind you, the world essentially did pigpile Nazi Germany and beat the living shit out of them because they were losers. And anyone that cleaves to that ideology in 2019 is cleaving to a loser. Funny how the neo-Nazis seem to miss that point. But prior to the Nazis deciding they were just going to kill all the Jewish people and trans people and gay people and the Slavs that were inconvenient to them and the Roma that were inconvenient to them, and everyone else that was inconvenient to them, some 11 million humans. Before that happened, the Nazi government actually told the world, take our Jewish people. And the world said, nah, we don't want them. So the world, the free parts of Europe and the United States and every other part of the developed world, had the opportunity to take in the Jewish people of Germany and the countries that Germany invaded as refugees. Except, of course, they didn't. And so we all have bloody hands in this one. So let's not repeat that. Let's make sure that the trans community has the protections that they need. That those of us in the cis community will, be on the right side of history, on the moral side of history, and make sure that everyone has civil liberties and human rights. And we will not frame a narrative as though we're going to debate the validity of a human being. It doesn't work that way. You have intrinsic value simply by being here. You are a living, breathing person. You have intrinsic value. And you are worthy of civil liberties and human rights. And we don't need special laws aimed at trans people to discriminate against them. And we don't need to tell people what their gender is. And we don't need to conflate gender and genitals. We don't need to insist that just because someone points at someone's genitals and says this person is X, Y, or Z, that they're right, because frankly, they can be just as easily infected with social conservatism as anybody else can. Just because someone has a DR in front of their name doesn't mean that they're ethical or moral. It just means they graduated from a medical school. There's a big difference there. Some folks that took Hippocratic oaths are lying bastards. We need to defend trans people because they're people and they're worthy of human rights and civil liberties. And we need not to repeat the horrible narratives of the past. So there is no trans debate. If you're trans, you're welcome here. You should be safe and should enjoy all the civil liberties and human rights that I do as this person. And if you're anti-trans, well, you can fuck right off. I got no use for you. And if you demonstrate your vile worldview, you'll go away. And I won't even bat an eye. Because we just don't need you anywhere. That's the debate in my book. How can we make the anti-trans folks go away faster?